Yay! We're live. We are alive. Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of What's Going On, where we make puns and talk to our friends and tell you what we've been working on this month and what's coming up next. This is a special edition because this weekend is Canadian Independent Bookstore Day. Woo!
So exciting!
Yeah, it is exciting. And we have a special guest, Becca from Bakka Phoenix Books, aka one of my favorite booksellers in the city because we have the same name, and so it results in endless hijinks, and I love it every time I come into the store.
So it's hi Rebecca, even though neither of us go by Rebecca.
I know. Like it's like Becca and Becky talk Bakka was like the way that we were like, yeah, this is how this is gonna work. But yeah, so hi Rebecca.
Hi Rebecca.
Never gets old. And then later on, we're going to be talking to our own events coordinator / wizard of the marketplace, Sienna Tristen, who will be talking about our new weekly features newsletter and all of the amazing discounts you can get, including, I'm going to steal their thunder for a minute here. ECW Press has their entire catalog on for 25% off.
Yeah, for like one more day. So go now.
Yeah, like run, don't walk. Watch this first. So yeah. Well, one of the reasons that we wanted to talk to you, Becca, is that Bakka Phoenix and Word on the Street go way back to our Queen West days. Class of like 1989 or 1990 when the first festival was. And you've had a number of like illustrious staff members who are like the who's who of Canadian authors, like Cory Doctorow and Leah Bobbitt and like a whole whack of others. Like the list goes on, truly. Tell us a bit about when you joined the illustrious Bakka Phoenix crew, and what do you love most about living at sometimes?
Basically,
what do you enjoy most about living in the rafters of Bakka Phoenix? In the air ducts.
Yeah.
Well, basically, I met the Bakka Phoenix team when I was writing Brandon Sanderson's signing for the last Wheel of Time book. Got them to come in and do the book sales. And then I just wouldn't go away. So eventually, they were just, this was 2013, they were just like, you know what, people are going on vacation. Becca, you're here all the time anyways, cover some shifts. And then I just didn't stop. So I've been here since. And what I love most, I think it's the people. Like, I kind of occasionally liken it to being a bartender, but for books. Everyone's got their regular, they'll have the usual, know what they want, and everyone kind of just knows each other. And also it's just a really fun working environment as well. Like, it's a fun place and lots of fun people where I creep people out by knowing their name and like, oh, you read that book last time. What do you want this time?
Yeah, you've definitely done that to me a few times. Oh, hey, did you hear about this book? It's new. Also, you'll love it. Also, it's like this other author that you know and love. And then I walk out of the bookstore with like 4 other like handpicked titles. It's great. Why do you think that independent bookstores are so important, especially like in Toronto?
Some of that goes back to what I was just saying. There's a depth of knowledge I feel that you get with independent bookstores. Mm-hmm. Like you go to a big box store, they'll have all of the sections, but they have a shelf for it. Independent bookstores, you'll find the booksellers actually know not necessarily every book in the store, but they can talk about them. So you go in and you say you want an epic fantasy book. At a big box store, you're going to get, here's the Wheel of Time, here's Brandon Sanderson, here's George R. R. Martin. You're not going to get, here's Fonda Lee, you have to read this because of this. Here's, S.A. Chakraborty. Here's all, Nadie Taylor, Kari Marin. You're not going to get that necessarily at that. So I find at independent bookstores, that's where you can actually, get that depth of knowledge, that diversity of stock of books, and, you're not going to just get George R. R. Martin. You're going to get like, oh, this is a debut book. It just came out. You have to read this. Mm-hmm. You're going to get, this one's a bestseller. Read this. And yeah, I feel like that's one of the more important things. And also there's a community. even if we don't get necessarily the bigger authors, you're going to meet the new authors. And I find actually debut authors are our biggest signings more often than not.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I've definitely noticed that in like the events at the shop, because there's like this palpable excitement when you get to do an event for the first time at Bakka Phoenix. Like I remember when I was
a milestone,
an indie author,
yeah.
Yeah. When I was an indie, when I published my first books independently, I like showed up at Bakka Phoenix and was like talking to Chris and was like, I wrote a book. And she was like, okay, cool. Yeah. Like send us your catalog or something. And then like, when by the time I launched the series finale, I got to have my big swanky Bakka Phoenix book launch with the cookies and the snacks and like, having like so many friends and family show up and like fans who'd traveled hours to be there because they knew what a big deal it was for an indie author to have an event at like the biggest like sci-fi and fantasy bookshop I think in Canada, in North America.
We are the oldest science fiction fantasy bookstore in the world.
Oh.
It's high honor.
Yeah,
huh?
so like this is so special. Like, yeah, so like really that's why we wanted to shout you out. And yeah, tell us about some of the fun stuff that Bakka's doing with like the virtual pivot. I've seen a couple of your book launch events. I know you have one coming up with like Kelly Robson.
Yes. Alias Space is coming out next Friday, right?
Yes, with you guys? Next Friday at 5:00, we'll be doing an event with Kelly Robson for Alias Space, her Subterranean Press collection. And it looks so gorgeous.
I'm so excited.
So beautiful. The cover art.
Yeah, other than that, we're doing a couple events next month with Derek Kunskin for his House of Sticks on May 25th. Then we've got E.K. Johnson on the 26th with Aetherbound. So there's a lot coming up with that. We've got a couple pre-order campaigns that are going to be ramping up this summer, including we're doing one with Shauna McGuire for When Sorrows Come. You pre-order, you get these gorgeous little pins. Yeah, otherwise we've got like Sarah Rayleigh this summer. We've got Miles Cameron, Nikki Palpretto. There's a lot coming up. And next year, a bit in the future now, we're turning 50. So we've got some things coming up.
Wow.
A half century of Bakka.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Oh, we got to go all out for that. That's so fun.
I've got plans.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. Okay. So where can people find out more about your events? What's the best place to follow you?
I would say generally Facebook is where all of the event listings are. I'm working on updating our website. We've got an event section for that, which is woefully out of date, but won't be in the next day or two. Otherwise, Twitter is where I'm probably we're the most active. And yeah, there'll be some.
And that's at Bakka Phoenix Books.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Quick, I want to ask one more question because I think it's very cool. Can you tell people who may not know about this where the name of the bookstore comes from? Because it's a very specific name. Like, what does that mean? Like Phoenix, okay, it's a mythical animal. I get that, but like, what's the Bakka part? Like, what's happening in this title? I love this.
So
story.
Bakka is from Dune. In Fremen legend, Bakka is the weeper who mourns for all mankind. And so the bookstore's name is for that. And when the current owner, Ben, bought the store, he added the Phoenix to show a new chapter in the store's life. And part of what I'm going to do for the 50th anniversary is every Thursday, like for the 50 weeks leading up, I'm going to show photos for the ages of Bakka. And we have a photo of Frank Herbert standing outside the old Queen Street location that has that quote.
Oh, that's cool.
Whoa.
Spoilers.
That is
Jump
so
into
cool.
the archives.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Oh, that's so rad. Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us, and we hope you have an amazing day of sales and shenanigans on Saturday.
Thank you so much.
Everyone, Canadian Independent Bookstore Day is this Saturday, April 24th, and you should shop Bakka Phoenix and Another Story and a different book list. And like there's I think like so many Toronto neighborhoods have like their local indie. So make sure you're supporting them. And if you want like really amazing science fiction and fantasy recommendations, like
this way.
Rebecca's got you covered.
Yes. I will set you up with books.
Yeah.
You'll be waiting in the rafters.
Yeah.
You can trust her recommendations. Trust me. Like half
I
my
will pick
shelves
up
are
books that
Becca
match your
recommendations.
couch cushions.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming.
Have a great afternoon.
Bye-bye.
I love Bakka Phoenix.
I know.
Yeah, I missed going there and seeing you and Avi and yeah.
The last time that we went to Bakka was to drop off some books, not to get too off topic, but the wonderful thing about them is as we showed up to pick up a pre-order that we'd set aside for, months ago, because then it's kind of hard to just waltz into a bookstore given the current climate.
Yeah.
We get to pick up this pre-order and Becca's like, oh, also I have another book for you. And we're like, what? And she just slams an ARC on top of it. Like, this came in and I know you're going to like it. It's just that community nature. And again, like she was saying, the handpicked depth of knowledge, not just of the books, but the people who come in for them there's nothing like it.
There's something about that curational experience that you just don't get from other environments. And speaking of hand-picked selections.
I see that
why
segue.
Don't you? I know. I see what you're doing there. Why don't you tell us more about the weekly features program that you've put together and how we are working to celebrate our exhibitors and indie authors and indie bookstores and indie publishers?
Yeah, for sure. So the weekly features, everybody who doesn't know, began just a couple weeks ago in mid-April, and it's going to be going through until the end of August, first week-ish of September, as a way to help ramp up for our sort of all September long big festival event. It's a little more, nebulous than the 2 or 3 day thing we would usually do, but weekly features is our way of decentralizing what would usually be a 1-day marketplace, and instead returning really focused attention to specific entities. So I'm talking about publishers, I'm talking about specific authors or arts organizations, educational organizations, festivals. So as an example, we featured Gritlit just last week, just before they got going for their festival from April 15 to 18. I had a wonderful time talking with them about their programming, their themes, things that people could look forward to at the festival, just to really guide people towards the great events that are happening in the literary scene. We also had Woolsack and Wynn. It's a Hamilton-based publisher who used their time in the spotlight to feature Katharine Graham's new lyric essay, Ether, an out-of-body lyric, which was there was a beautiful excerpt that was read. We got to talk about sort of processing, craft, and loss, and all these things. And celebrate the launch of the book because it just came out. So these are the kind of things that we get to draw to the attention of all of you with weekly features. And we love doing this, with the container that we have of an online platform, because we're able to really take these one-on-one sessions, these interviews, these workshops, and present them in like a digestible format. Like, I don't know about you, Becky, but for me, even though I work at WOTS, when I would walk into like the I don't want to say the real thing, but like the physical marketplace, like in 2019, it's overwhelming. It can be, at least for some people. To have like 300 tents and everyone's shouting and there's music over here and everything's going on. It can be really hard to like stop at every place and give people some focused attention, some piece of your time. So what I love about this is that we're able to really slow it down and make it a little more intimate. And so that's some of the thought that went into the program. But as for what it's supposed to be for everybody, at home who's watching and listening, it's supposed to be your way of connecting back to the literary community in this time where we're all hyper isolated still after all this time. We're all getting sick and tired of it. None of us wants to be disconnected from community. And so I really envisioned this program as a way to keep in the loop, without having to go far and wide and like go down internet rabbit holes to figure out what's going on. This is really supposed to be kind of a collection of some of the best and most interesting stuff that's happening in arts and culture and literacy in Canada right now.
Yeah. Yeah. So like, how can people sign up for the weekly features? And also like, how can they enjoy all of those lovely interviews that you've been doing now? I mean, I guess it's like in the YouTube channel.
But yeah, it is. Well, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can go to our Word on the Street YouTube channel, and there is a playlist that says weekly features, and you can go through all of them. They'll be added as we do them, but you can also catch them live. If you hit the little bell notification and subscribe to our channel, you'll get notified when we go live, and you can enjoy these things real time. They all happen at 12 p.m. Eastern time. So we've pitched that as like a perfect time for you to take a break from your work or whatever's going on, go get a coffee or a tea or fix yourself a snack while you listen and just have a bit of a pause and a respite from everything that's going on. So 12 p.m., usually Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays of the week. You can catch the ones on replay that you've missed on the YouTube channel. And as for signing up for the other half of weekly features, I say other half, they're like this, they're linked. You can go to our website at toronto.thewordonthestreet.ca. There it is, /weekly-features. There's a little bit of an explanation. There's a little bit of an explanation about what's going on. There's a big friendly link to sign up for the newsletter. That way you don't have to keep checking back every week. And there will also be the current week's features. So the thing about the features is not only are they interviews and workshops and like a community aspect, there's also steals and deals. So this is the other thing we miss about our marketplace is the ability to wander in and find like your next great read at an incredibly great discount, just mind-boggling. And that sort of sense of discovery and serendipity. So what we're also putting together are discounts typically of 20% or more, as Becky alluded to earlier in this stream. ECW Press currently has a whopping 25% off of their entire catalog, which you can go access on their website. There is a discount code to apply, and they have that going until I think the end of tomorrow, which is Independent Bookstore Day, April 24th at the time of this recording. So make sure, again, like you said, run, don't walk, like get over there. There's all kinds of great stuff that they have forthcoming or, is already out. So, and there's going to be lots more like that. Next week is Poetry Week because we can't go through April without doing a Poetry Week. And something I'm really excited for, you heard it here first, is we are going to be having a do-it-yourself how to make a chapbook workshop with the folks from the League of Canadian Poets. So get ready to get crafty. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I can't wait. Yeah, this is going to be like, I have to say, like on my part, I'm very impressed with this program. I've exhibited at WOTS like 3 times before I started working here. And I know that you and Avi have exhibited as well. And yeah. So like, it's just like, it's hard to overstate like the importance of an environment like the Word on the Street, where it's an opportunity where literally everyone can come. It's a big free street fair for books. Like it's got like that magic of like the Scholastic Book Fair in your school library where like everyone gets to come and explore those books. But it's in a big outdoor environment, and it's like, usually sunny, knock on wood.
Yeah, for next,
a little too sunny, like last time. Mm-hmm. But yeah, like I think that this program does such a great job of like highlighting the people that really make our community go forward, like the smaller, like, publishers and authors and, book adjacent folks, the organizations and nonprofits, that really, really add like depth to our community. So yeah, I'm just really impressed that this has all come together and everyone's really excited about it. And congratulations. Like,
thanks. It's been really weird and new to do something that like, WOTS has never done this model before, right? So everyone talks about pivoting, right? We pivot, whatever. But what it really means is daring to imagine doing something completely differently and to create a completely different container for something for the core of what you do, which of course means understanding the core of what you do. You have to sit there and be like, so what actually is our purpose? Why are we doing what we do in order to evolve it? And so it was a really wonderful exercise to sit down and really get in the weeds and be like, oh, we do provide this really valuable thing for people all over the board. we're able to uplift new voices, emerging organizations. We're able to help ingrain people into sort of the cultural imagination. And I think all of our programs do that. And they sort of, again, they go like this, and they try to sort of dovetail into each other. So one thing we're doing with our Book of the Month books, speaking of weekly features, is, again, at the time of this recording, you have 1 week. If you want to sign up to our weekly features newsletter, you will be entered into a giveaway to win one of 3 separate prize packs that contain our books of the month from January through April. 4 books, 4 of our, lauded favorite titles that we have already given some attention to this year. They can all be yours for no cost, just the sign up so that you can keep abreast of what's going on with the weekly features program.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, like the Book of the Month interviews, we aren't releasing those live just because like it's so much easier. Like we have so many of these live events. We wanted to do one that was a bit more accessible for the authors that we're working with. And so it's like a pre-recorded interview that we release, I believe on or around like the 3rd Friday each month, or the 2nd Friday each month, when our main newsletter goes out. So yeah, you can also catch all of those on the Book of the Month playlist here on our YouTube channel. And they're all running around like, around roughly like 20 minutes. So yeah, you can watch, like it's just like a great opportunity to get into like a deeper discussion with the Book of the Month authors about their work. And this past month we've had Ill Virus by Lillian Nekakov, and great. It's like pandemic poetry, or poetry written during the pandemic. And like, yeah, I think that creating something beautiful out of this experience is like a big theme for us this year. So we're really, really proud and excited to share that work.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else do we have coming up, Sienna?
We have, to speak of May events, I know that we are incredibly excited and anticipatory about being able to feature the Feelways anthology. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah.
Co-editors. Okay, let me get the 3 names that I know about this in terms of editors: Taya Matanji, Natasha Ramatar, Adrian DeLeon.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's it. And like every time Taya Matanji comes on our show, our program,
our channel,
like it's just great. I love Taya. Like I think
Feelways is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. I think that was one of my first like WOTS events, like off campus, that I went to with in my first year, was like Taya Matanji and Vivek Shreya's like joint book launch. And like that felt like that was like the first place that I went as like a WOTS employee. And so it has like this very special place in my heart. And yeah, like there's been such great writing coming out of, there's like this little bubble of like Scarborough writers who are like just taking over Canlit in such an amazing way. And I think it's really cool how with this anthology, Taya and Adrian and Natasha like really are doing the work of like kind of paying it forward and like curating and amplifying the voices of fellow Scarborough writers who, are overlooked sometimes by like the broader Canlit circus. So,
and side note, they're all incredible writers in and of themselves. I just got started at Natasha Ramatar's poetry book, Bittersweet. And it's just fantastic. It's just so good. They're all so talented and so visionary. So I can't wait to see what they've curated together.
Yeah. This is definitely one of the ones that we've been the most excited for this year. We've been like harassing the publisher, being like, can we feature it yet? Have you published it yet? Because we would like to feature it. And we've been doing this for like a year now. In like the staff chat, like Maya is our programming manager, the angel behind the scenes right now, just wrote like in caps, literally, and a winky face. Thank you, Maya. Anyways, we should probably get back to work.
Back to our jobs.
But
it's been wonderful hanging out with all of you.
I know. I just like hanging out with you. I miss hanging out in the office, but one day we will be back. And yeah, I can't wait. Anyways, for everyone who's tuned in, thank you again for checking in with what's going on.
The puns will never stop.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great afternoon, and we'll see you soon on the internet.
Yeah. Bye, everyone.